Some leaders struggle having their team have direct conversations and have courage when it comes to speaking up about things that they see. And it really is a challenge in organizations when people around you see things that are broken, see things that are wrong, see things that need to be made right, but they don't know how to have direct communication and they don't have the courage to speak up. Well, a big part of that is caused by you as a leader. And let me tell you a little bit about what this might mean for your organization if you have a team that won't speak up. It means that errors and mistakes will happen more frequently because people don't feel empowered to open their mouths. This can cost you lots of time, lots of money, lots of productivity, and it could get you in legal trouble, particularly if mistakes happen in a difficult and complex work environment. So it's important and paramount that you as a leader create the kind of environment where your team will be more direct with you, be more direct with each other, and will have the courage to speak up to affect change in your organization. That's all on you as a leader. If your team is not speaking up, if your team is not direct, if your team is not working to affect change, it's nobody's fault but yours. And so we have to get you to a place of leading in a kind of way that will inspire and empower your team to be more direct, to have more courageous conversations, to speak up and affect change. So let's start with the basic three things that you need to do as a leader if you want to create that kind of culture and environment with your team. So number one is you need to be the example of the change that you want to see in your team. Now that's a modified version of an old Gandhi quote that was attributed to him, but I'm not sure if he ever said it. And the quote is, be the change that you want to see in the world. Well, I'm telling you, you need to be the change that you want to see in your team. So if you want your team to be more direct, then you need to be more direct. If you want your team to speak up and have courageous conversations, then you need to speak up and to have courageous conversations. If you want your team to affect change and use their voice to affect change, then you need to use your voice to affect change. Now you might try to say, Anton, I'm already doing that. Maybe you are, but does your team know it? Does your team see you speak up? Does your team see you speak direct to your superiors? Do your team see you having courageous conversations? Or are you sitting on the sidelines expecting everybody else to do something that you're not willing to do yourself? If so, it's not going to happen. Your team will do what you do. Your team will promote what you permit. So in your context, you have to be more effective at your direct communication, having courageous conversations, and using your voice to affect change. Because once you do that, you will inspire them to think that it's okay for them to do it. And let me tell you how you have to do the inspiration piece. Is that you, the second point, is you as a leader have to create the kind of environment where your team feels like it's okay to be direct with you, and that your team has to learn that it's okay to have a courageous conversation with you about you, and that maybe you need to create the space so your team can say some things to you that will help you to change. Because if you're leading in a fashion in which your team doesn't feel like they can be direct with you, and you got a closed door policy, or maybe a policy that your door is open, but it really has a sign in front of it that says, do not bother me, then they're never going to be direct with you. They're never going to have courageous conversations, and you're never going to change. So if you want your team to be able to affect change, you have to be the change that you want to see by creating the environment that they know that they can speak up to you, that they know they can have a courageous conversation with you. That's what you need to be doing as a leader. Now, here's the third point, that if you really want to encourage your team to be more direct, if you want to encourage them to speak up and have courageous conversations, well, then what I need for you to do above all else is to tell them and show them that it's okay. So the moment that somebody speaks up and says something direct to you that you don't like, don't retaliate, don't fire off back at them, don't make excuses, accept what they share with you. And then if they go do this with other teams and other departments, then your job as a leader is to back them up when they do it. Don't shut them down, and always back them up. So you can't shut them down when they come to you, and you always have to back them up when they're trying to affect change in other parts of the organization. That's what you need to be doing if you want to encourage your team to affect change in the work environment. And guess what? You need your team to affect change. And it starts with you being the example, you creating the space, and then you never shutting them down and always backing them up. I want to thank you for watching. If this had an impact on you, if you think a leader that you know needs to see or hear this message, please subscribe, like, comment, and share on all of these social channels. Thank you. Have a great day.